Hi everybody, it's gonna be Bridget here with two T's and an E at the end, and if not from Guilty Dear. Although this time we actually have a third T, it is chamomile mint, and I have like a little bit of honey in there. Oh my god, it's so good, dude. Chamomile is so good. You try it, please. I wanted to make a video series where I review trans stories of just anything that gave you joy or euphoria, because I feel like there is not nearly enough positive trans content out there. And I'm very, very happy to continue making it. So here we are. I have gotten 16 stories, and I want to keep the video under 20 minutes if I can. We'll see. I really, really want to get to every story, but we'll see if it happens. I gave Nigel a plushie, but I don't think he likes it very much. Okay, so getting into the first story, in full disclosure, I read like one of these before, I think, just on accident, because I was really excited, and it was a very short story, but I've not read most of these, so this will just be my first time reaction, and I'm really looking forward to it. Went out to the bar with very new girlfriends after thinking for years no one would want me to go out with them. They put me in an amazing dress, did my makeup, and took me out dancing. And while I did get dysphoric that night, it wasn't because of them or anyone else there. Love yourself and let yourself be loved by friends. Oh, that's so cute. That is so cute. Oh my god. I used to have like these really great supportive like ally coworkers at my previous job, and you know, I wouldn't say it went this far to taking me out dancing, but it really is crazy how nice it can be to just have people be respectful to you and whatnot. I'm forever going to be a supporter in just saying that like the trans community is awesome. Like, I love being a part of it, and I love the community that we have with each other, but it really is nice to just have allies sometimes and have really great stories like this, and this sounds so cute and so fun. I'm so happy for you. Alright, for the second story, I was at the mall with my brother, and my friend and we decided to go into Hot Topic. After looking around, I found something I really wanted, but was making up excuses not to get it because I did not want to talk to the cashier to buy it. So that's so relatable. My friend pushed me to ask for the changing room. I did, and it fit fine. I thought, okay, the cashier doesn't care, so I bought it. Good peer pressure because it made me joyous. I had this experience a lot with some of my friends who were further in their transition and just knew that the cashier never gives a shit when you buy stuff. But it's always so scary. Like, I used to get the worst anxiety about this, and I totally understand why you would get scared. But I'm really happy that your friend encouraged you to do it, and that it was a rare instance of helpful peer pressure instead of just like, man, I feel shitty about myself. That's really awesome. For the third one, one time at work, this customer trans girl gave me a little slip of paper she wrote on saying, "I love your glasses." And then she put like a little cat emoji there, so I'm assuming they just wrote like a little guy. And my glasses were maybe one of maybe two things I had that were really affirming at that time, my hair being the other. They're the big cat eye frames, and that made my freaking day, and I was really happy for that compliment and to also get noticed. I've put a little note in my phone case ever since she gave it to me, and I hope to see her again, and hopefully muster up the courage to ask her to be friends. The end. I hope you have a great day, Nigel's mom. Thank you. I am having a pretty good day. I'm doing good. And that sounds so cute. Oh my god. It's incredible seeing other queer people just out in the wild, especially when you live in a place where there are not very many, and the ones you do see are probably not trying to show it to people. That's just really amazing, and I think it's so adorable that you keep that slip of paper around this. It's so cute. That is so, so cute. I'm really, really happy for you. Number 4. I was a volunteer in a fantasy convention, and 2 days before it, I wrote to my group leader that I prefer my new name and she/her pronouns. Last year, I went as dead name. He was super supportive, and all the time he was like, "How are you doing, honey?" However, it was gendered as feminine verb due to Polish verbs declension. I actually don't know what that word means. 1 second. In certain languages, the inflection of nouns, pronouns, and adjectives with respect to categories such as taste, number, and gender. More you know. On the same convention, everyone who knew me from previous year also used my preferred name and pronouns, and the best moment was when we were playing board games with some randoms, and one of them referred to me as he, because my voice isn't there yet, but one of my volunteer friends immediately corrected them quite aggressively. Actually, she's a girl, and everyone was chill about that. Oh my god. That's awesome! Woo! Dude, that sounds like such a dream come true. It feels wonderful to just be treated as the gender you want to be, especially when you tell people and they're supportive and they really just treat you like they would treat a girl instead of treating you like a third secret option or whatever. And that sounds amazing. I'm so happy for you. I think I've said that like 9 times by this point, but I'm happy for everybody. Number 5. I always had recurring nightmares as a kid, but over time learned to recognize the patterns and realize that they were dreams. Eventually, I learned to lucid dream to control the nightmares and make the scary monsters go away. When I started experimenting with gender in middle school, lucid dreams became my sandbox for identity and self-expression. That is so cool! I could wear what I wanted and even change my body and physical appearance, which helped me explore myself in ways that weren't possible in my Mormon household. I'm incredibly grateful for the unique opportunity those dreams provided me. Now I'm graduated from college and living alone, and I finally get to be myself in a place outside of my dreams. I've come out to several of my friends who have all been very supportive, and I have a consultation for HRT scheduled in 2 weeks. The world's definitely scary for people like us now, but I'm tired of waiting for it to get better before I can be myself. Dude, that's incredible! That is so awesome! I kind of struggle with bad nightmares too, but I've not been able to have as much power when I lucid dream, I guess. But I think that's awesome that you are able to do that. That sounds so fun. And that's just awesome. I am sorry to hear about the Mormon household, however, as I know that a lot of trans people don't do great in that environment for obvious reasons, but I'm happy that you're doing to be yourself nowadays, and that's super awesome, girl. Number 6. I've had vivid dreams all my life, even sometimes being able to continue the same dream while waking and going back to sleep intermittently. But most of them didn't have me in them at all. It was rare to have dreams that were a first-person experience, and even the ones that did always had a recurring feeling of being present and doing my best to ignore/perform normalcy in surrealist situations. That sounds crazy. Usually though, it was like I was observing a scene or idea in my dreams, or following an eternal train of thought abstractly. It wasn't until I came to the realization in real life that I was transgender and started actually connecting with that internal self that I started being present in my own dreams. That's such a wild concept to me, to have gained a metaphysical presence in my own conscious mind through nothing more than a conscious acceptance of self, lowering those mental defenses and repairing a severed bond. This isn't something I've heard about in online anecdotes, so I hope it makes for an interesting experience to share. Girl, absolutely. That is super crazy. The whole time I was reading this, I was like, wow, that's a lot of big words and a lot of very big concepts. I had to read this 2 times out just because the first time I was stumbling on my words trying to comprehend what was going on in the sentence. That's really interesting. I find it fascinating that we've had 2 things about dreams right now, and my dreams were also affected a lot by HRT, or even just my self-acceptance in general. That's really fascinating. Thank you for sharing. Number 7. A little neurodivergent positivity with this one. Yay! I'm very timid, built like a small animal. Just something I've had to live with, along with the various other things, being definitely neurodivergent, but undiagnosed brains, sometimes including being trans. I luckily do have a properly supportive friend group IRL that I could declare it to, but even then at the start, being very soft-spoken made it feel a lot less real, you know? I knew something was there, but I didn't have the confidence to properly affirm myself. Then one day, something hit me. A big thing I have is the matching tone, accent, pitch, of what have you of someone else's voice over a very short period of talking to them. I use it a lot to sing well by mimicking vocal techniques subconsciously when I listen to someone else sing, but I realized I could do the same to have a more feminine tone. By paying attention to how my voice shifted and what parts of my vocals were being used or not, I can hold it for a good while and even learn how to do it without just mimicking. Doing this really helped boost my confidence and was really euphoric, being able to both affirm my identity to myself, as well as use the little differences I've developed to a genuine positive. I hope every queer like me can find a way to do the same for themselves. We work with what we got, and through love, we see each other and be more true to ourselves. And that's a really nice statement. And that's super interesting that you're so quick with learning mimicry. That's really fascinating to me. I know that voice stuff didn't really come as easy to me, especially with my cleft palate kind of messing me up, but I'm really glad that you have so much leeway with using your voice and learning it, and that's super fascinating. Number 8. At the time of this story, I'd only come out as a trans woman to a few people, including my college roommate / best friend. She's more supportive of me than I could ever have dreamed of. I was hanging out with some friends in the evening, but I felt pretty dysphoric that day, so I decided I'd go home a bit earlier than everyone else. Later, when I was lying in bed listening to some music before going to sleep, something within me just clicked. I started hugging myself as this huge wave of euphoria filled every bone in my body. I felt so light and joyful, like I shook a massive weight off that chained me down all my life. I started crying from happiness and laughing from joy. I didn't feel any dysphoria and knew I wasn't scared to be myself anymore. I was just me. I realized that I finally actually get to be a girl, the thing I'd wished for all my life. This went on for well over an hour until my best friend got home and I hugged her and told her how happy I was. And I loved that I got to share my joy with her. To this day, I still don't know exactly what caused it, but that moment reignited my hope for the future. I'm a girl, and no one will ever be able to take that away from me. That's really cool. I really could not give an explanation for how that happened either, but that sounds super awesome. And I'm really happy that your college roommate was also just a really cool person too. You know, a lot of the time it seems like it's so much easier for other people to accept us more than ourselves even, which is a little ironic, I guess, to the whole process. Number 9. I didn't get my first gender euphoria moment until my mid-30s. I just beat Baldur's Gate 3 a few days ago and wanted to try seeing if I could pull off a gender-bent Shadowheart cosplay. I was so happy putting on the makeup and styling my own long hair. It wasn't long after that I realized my egg cracked and I was transfem. So I've never played Baldur's Gate 3 myself, and I have a lot of friends that are really into it, so I don't actually know what that character's looks like. I'll put a photo of them on screen though, but that's just super funny to me that you had the cosplay first and then your egg breaks, I guess. I don't know, it's just very funny how we discover ourselves sometimes, and I like that story a lot. Number 10. I've been out to only one friend and their close family, brother and mother, for a couple of months now, but in that time we've went thrifting several times. It makes me so happy not having to pass up on a piece I think I would love just because my parents are there, because thankfully all 3 are supportive. I may or may not have found only the 3 supportive people in my state, the bad one, but I'm not complaining. I'm sorry that you're living in a place that's very not friendly towards trans people. I totally get that, but I'm really happy that you have some area just to go that you can be yourself and, you know, getting to go to the store and just get affirming clothing and even get to go with other people and just have fun and not have to be so concerned with your looks and whatnot. That's really awesome. Number 11. It's not crazy or anything, but I decided to try to make it some friends online. Despite being complete strangers, they called me a girl and it was so amazing. It's really nice having people I don't know validate my gender. It's also amazing that they never knew me before I transitioned, so they can never slip up and dead name me or use the wrong pronouns. That is a really big advantage to talking to people online, and that's a big reason I advocated in it for my previous videos about getting gender euphoria. Just because you can do so much stuff online and have so much more freedom and expression with your identity, even if it's not safe for you to come out or start HRT. And that's just a really nice thing. I'm happy for you. Number 12. I worked in a mall, and one of the stores in front of my workplace had a very pretty yellow dress in the front window for about 3 months. Today, I finally worked up the courage to go and buy it. Seeing myself in it felt so good, and even though I started HRT and I still look very masculine, I got a very comforting cute girl message when I posted photos online. Girls out there, do not hesitate to buy pretty clothes, it's the best. That's awesome! I'm happy for you. Seriously, getting a nice outfit that you feel good in is one of the best things ever. It really is. You know, I don't know if anyone else relates to this, but pre-transition, I thought I just hated clothing shopping, and I don't like going to the store, and I don't see why anyone gives a shit about what they put on their body because it all looks bad. That is not the case. It was just not being able to wear the right clothes and not being able to have that nice expression. And outfits like that are just so amazing and can make you feel so great and look so good. Totally recommend it. Absolutely agree with her. Number 13. I've been with my wife for over 20 years, and I realized I was trans a few years before we first met, but for various reasons decided to suppress it. I was always pretty sure that she would at least accept it, at least in principle, but I convinced myself that I could never do it anyway. I'll never pass in all this nonsense. Anyways, I got to the point where I was 40, and I looked at the people in my life and realized that I'd filtered out anyone who would have a problem with it. And I lived in a relatively safe area, and that every year that went by meant less time I could have to live as my true self. It took me a few months to get myself to the point where I could tell her. Not really because I feared her reaction, but more because saying it out loud would mean it was real. I told her, and she sat and listened to me, and she told me she loved me and that she was proud of me for accepting it. And the next day, she went out and came home and told me that she'd gotten several different types of... That's so cute! She'd gotten several different types of eyeliner to try, and I just started crying and hugged her the whole time. It's so cute! Sorry. She showed me that she was going to go out of her way to find ways to help me transition. It's one thing to have acceptance, but to have active, motivated support means so much more. Ever since, she's been encouraging me every step of the way. I have a long way to go, but I know I'll get there eventually, and she'll be right there with me. I know it's a privileged position to be in. So many relationships don't survive transition, but it is possible. This is my favorite story so far. My cheeks are kind of hurting from how much I'm smiling. This is so adorable. I'm so happy that your partner supports you and actively encourages it, and that is like a dream come true for so many people, and I'm really happy for you that your relationship has these circumstances and that unconditional love regardless of the gender you are behind it. That's awesome. Number 14. I went camping with some friend wearing a long skirt. We had a joint before going for a hike, and the path was very muddy and uneven, which made my skirt very dirty. I suppose this whole situation and the weed unlocked a core childhood memory. What? Okay, I'm sorry, this is not where I thought this was going to go. Which I never had. When we got back to our tent, I remembered how as children, we would come home absolutely covered in dirt. I imagined myself in this situation, as a child being scolded by my parents for messing up my skirt, and it gave me so much euphoria. I felt I was glowing for the next couple of days. That's a very interesting concept behind that euphoria, but regardless, I'm happy that you felt nice for it, and that you feel like you have a childhood memory in a way of it. That's awesome. Number 15. For me, I heavily associate my trans journey with being a musician. I've been playing guitar for nearly my entire life. It's helped me through all kinds of experiences, both good and bad. It really helped me with transitioning. I feel like playing is when I'm the most me, and it's brought me so much trans joy. That's awesome to hear. As much as I love music, I'm not one to really produce it, but I know my girlfriend is, and I know that she gets a lot of feelings out through her music, and you know, it's a really good way to just like vent, or even not venting, just expressing joy and happiness, and it's just a great way of expression, so I'm really happy that you have that going for you. That's awesome. Alright, number 16, the very last. I took the collar off a green shirt a week before to try and have some sort of feminine top. I didn't have any, and my friend had given me a skirt because they knew what my parents would be like if I got one for myself. They can see my transaction history through a monitored debt card. I'm very sorry to hear that. That sounds super annoying. And it looked okay-ish. Like, it wasn't too different from another shirt. But then the other day, I decided to sew it short. Never mind, I'm ass at sewing. Let's just cut it. and it looked really good on me with the skirt they got me. Like, even when I was wearing anything else, I'd always still look like a man in a dress, but it actually looked feminine and good, and I really liked wearing it. Genuinely the most euphoria I'm probably going to feel for a while. And that's really awesome. And I doubt you suck that bad at sewing, but I guess I've never seen it, so maybe I don't know. But no, that's really great. I remember having a lot of moments like that early in my transition where, you know, certain outfits or whatever really made me see that girl in me and not just what I was trying to not see when I looked in the mirror, and I'm really happy about that for you. I hope you get to wear that outfit more and just feel good about it in the future. So that wraps up every response for the video. I had such an incredible time reading all these, and I would really like to make a part 2, although I would want some semblance of an audience. So we'll see how the video performs. If it gets like 500 views or maybe like 1,000 in the first week, I'll probably make a part 2 sometime soonish if I have the time for it. As I really enjoyed doing this, and I hope you guys enjoyed watching it. I do see that it's probably going to go on for a bit over 20 minutes, probably closer to like 24 maybe, or 26-ish, but you know, whatever, it's fine. I do kind of need the watch time if I want to get monetization on my videos, which it's not my goal. This is always going to be a hobby for me, like first and foremost. That's why I'm not creating negative content, because yes, negative content would sell way more and I'd probably get way more popular, but that's not what I'm here to do. I just want to make people happy, and I want to inspire people if I can, and just add a lot more happiness out in the world. But it would be cool if I hit 4,000 watch hours for monetization. That's all I'm saying. So we're a bit over the halfway there. It'd be awesome if it happened. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'll still be here making videos every now and then, at least, if I have the time for it. And I'm just super grateful to have a community that you guys have all given me thus far. The growth lately has been especially unprecedented, and I appreciate it so much. With all that being said, if you guys enjoyed the video, a like is always super appreciated, but a comment absolutely makes my day. You guys leave me so many really sweet comments about being pretty, or my voice, or liking my videos, and it only makes me want to do stuff more and more. And even the hate comments empower me. It makes me so happy when people call me horrible things. You know, I feel like it should make me upset, but honestly it really doesn't. It just makes me laugh at them. And it's extra algorithm boost, so. But you know, that's that. If you see any on my channel, I appreciate everybody who has gone out of their way to defend me so far, but I promise, ignoring them is probably the best thing you can do. And that's all I have to say, really. Thank you guys all so much for watching. I will see you hopefully soon. I'm not really sure what I want to do my next video about, but we'll see. We'll find it out together. And I hope you'll have a great day. Bye! Okay, actually, secret seraphim here. After the video has ended, I just want to talk about my eyes in this video. I don't know why, but I'm like looking at my eyes on the playback or whatever. I don't know what's up with me today. Maybe it was something in the water. Maybe it was like something I ate. Maybe I'm like poisoned right now. I don't know what's going on, but my eyes look very strange. And I just thought it was funny and wanted to mention it. like it's really that blue eye stare, but like 3 times as potent for some reason. I don't know. I just thought it was funny.